we are continuing to get reacquainted with our Washington Mystics, and now we are just a few short weeks away from the WNBA season. We are excited, and I know Ariel Atkins is excited as well.
Yes.
How are you doing? Thanks for joining us today.
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Jersey's back on.
Yep.
How are we feeling?
Everything feels good. I'm excited about the season and the new faces we have in the building, so we'll see what it's about.
Lots to look forward to and be excited about. But how was the off season? I hope you were able to take some time for yourself, relax, rejuvenate, get ready for the year.
Yeah, I was definitely able to get ready for the year, but I took a coaching job at University of Michigan for the off season, so I really enjoyed that, being able to work with different players and get to know a new group of people, really.
Yeah, so how was that? I guess 100% this will now help you become a bigger leader here on the court, but let's talk about your experience in Ann Arbor. How was that for you?
It was enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was definitely challenging for me just because it was a new space for me and a new state around a new group of people, but I really enjoyed it.
Wonderful. When it came to the role you were doing, were you specifically helping guards out, or what were you doing specifically?
Yeah, honestly, just there for everybody who wanted to kind of either have conversations or learn more about the game, or just try to insert myself in any way that I could to help the players grow on and off the court.
Wonderful. Well, you are expected to be another leader here for the Washington Mystics, take another step forward in your career. But now, having this experience under your belt, how do you think, as a leader, that helped you?
I definitely think it helped me in ways to take the ideas that are out of my head and being able to put them through words. I think was the biggest thing, learning how to coach and explain things to people in a way that they can actually see what's going on inside of my head.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
100%. So
Yeah,
now
good.
being back here, you know, a roster that is a little more on the new side, fresh faces here in Washington, but now you've got players like you and Brittany ready to lead the way, take on that bigger leadership role. Just, does that excite you in any sort of way, taking this new step in your career?
It definitely does. I think everything is about an evolution and growth, like of who you are as a person and a player. And within, going as a pro, like you always start out from a rookie, just trying to figure things out, and as you grow, the accountability and the responsibility always grows. So I'm happy to be where I'm at and thankful that I have the ability and the opportunity to be a leader.
Well, with your growth, with yourself specifically, how have you seen yourself grow throughout your career as a Washington Mystic? You know, started your career here, now believe year 7?
Yeah, year 7. It's crazy. Yeah,
Insane.
I think the biggest thing is just my ability to be vocal and not to shy away from moments where I need to speak up, honestly.
Nope, that makes complete sense. So when it comes to now expectations for yourself, do you set new expectations for yourself every year? I know staying healthy is probably one of them.
Number one, for sure. I would really like to play a full season. I think just overall, I just expect myself to put my best foot forward every day, and I don't think that's changed from the moment I stepped into this league, and just kind of the way that I live in everyday life. Making sure that every day I put my best foot forward and do what I can to help our team pursue championships is what I push for every single day.
Yeah, well, that perspective and that mentality is going to go leaps and bounds with this roster specifically. But looking at this team, the chemistry right now, just how are you ladies gelling? How are you feeling?
I mean, figuring out. We only had one day under our belt, so I can't really tell you too much because I personally don't know.
Of course.
But I just think our personalities and our energy and our competitiveness is infectious right now, and I'm really enjoying that.
When it comes to an identity for this squad, someone asked you, what is it like to be a Washington Mystic? What would you tell them?
Family atmosphere, but obviously it has conditions because you don't do your job. No one's going to care, So I would just say family atmosphere, an atmosphere of excellence and structure, in a place that chases championships in everything that we do, not just one thing.
Yeah, well, this is a squad that made the playoffs last 2 seasons, went out the first round.
Yep.
What do you think is going to be that next step to not only making the postseason this year, but making a deeper push?
Yeah, it started yesterday in training camp. Just our energy and our competitiveness and our willing to move on to the next thing, I think will be huge this season.
We talk about identity, the culture here, the chemistry, all that good stuff, but when you step on the court, we love that. Absolutely incredible. Wonderful. Identity. Identity right there, folks. That's what we're talking about.
That quite literally just scared me, actually.
When this squad steps on the court, including Shakira over there in our corner, how do you want to be known as a team that is blank?
Yeah, I just want us to be hungry. I think that's something that you'll see from every single person on this roster. I think everybody is hungry not only to prove to someone else, but to prove to themselves that they can be exactly who they want to be in this league. So.
Yeah, well, the young girls on this squad, they are going to be looking to fill roles, to take big steps quickly. When you look at them, Aaliyah, some of the other new rookies on this squad, where do you see the sky the limit for them?
I don't think there is one. I mean, specifically speaking for Aaliyah, I think a lot of the college players that are coming into this league have dealt with things as being a young woman in sport that is unprecedented, you know, and so I think that they're capable of doing a lot of the things that necessarily rookies 4 or 5 years ago didn't really have to endure or really think about. But I think they come into this league with more professional skills than they've had in the past. Obviously, I think on the court, it's more about like pace and physicality and figuring those things out. But I don't think there is a limit. She can do anything that she legit puts her mind to, especially in this league.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the word unprecedented, and that kind of segues me into my next question, just about women's basketball.
Yeah.
You know, we saw a big spike last year's championship with the WNBA, carried into the college season in ways we hadn't seen before, and now that same momentum is expected to be taken into the WNBA season. Just what do you make of that as a player at the forefront? I
mean, it's extremely exciting. I think every generation brings something new to this league, to women in sports in general, and I think every generation has fought for women to have more visibility, for women to have more opportunities, for women to have a chance at being the best at what we can do with the exact same resources, if not more. You know, we've been doing everything with less, and while doing everything with less, we're still light years ahead of where some other leagues of our counterparts were at around this time. We're at year 27, 28 of the WNBA, and we're light years ahead of where our counterparts league was at this time. So as much as it is like exciting, does it suck that it's just now taking people time to catch on? 100%, but that's neither here nor there. We're pushing ourselves forward, and I think a lot of women are doing their due diligence to continue to fight for and use their voices for not just them, but for people that look like them and for people that are like them, to get us to where we want to be in sport. And like I said, I think the college players understand that, the rookies coming in, I think they understand that. I mean, women's sports leagues across the U.S. right now understand that, and I think we're all in the same boat of the excitement that is pushing forward women's sports right now in this era.
100%. And I had to ask your coach the same question, and I was like, is there a sense of finally that this is happening? Because it's not like the talent's never been there.
Right.
It's always been there. Yeah. So is there a level of kind of, I don't know if frustration is the right word, but it's like, hello, we've been here.
I don't think it's frustration. I just think it's we talked about evolution a little bit earlier. I just think it's the evolution of things. Like, we have a group of young women that know nothing but the WNBA. Like, they don't even understand what women playing in Europe or overseas looks like. Like, they're young women that are in their stands for our games that only know the WNBA. That wasn't the case 5 years ago. You know, that wasn't the case 10 years ago. The women who started this league and was one of the first to get drafted in '97, they probably felt how we felt now, you know? So it's really just an evolution of the sport and things that kind of happen over time.
Well, your role in this evolution, kind of looking at yourself as a small part of just the big picture here,
for sure.
Just how does that make you feel in your specific time and place and being here in Washington?
It makes you feel good. I mean, you put so much work into something, and you hope that even if you are a small part of it, that you know that you did something about it. And I think that's the biggest thing with anybody in this league from the moment, whether you were just at a training camp contract, whether you played in this league 13 years, whether you played in the league 2 years. I think everybody's had a big part in growing this league and what it means. And it means a lot to me to be a part of it because I've looked up to these women for so long, and they have literally paved the way for me to be able to do what I do today.
Well, we couldn't be more excited for you this season. You know,
thank
bigger
you.
and better things. Year 7. Hard to believe.
Year 7, baby.
We're excited.
Yeah,
something to be
so
proud
much.
of in itself. Thank you so
you.
much. Ariel Atkins joining us. Again, bigger and better things to come in year 7. We couldn't be more excited for her.